They found a king's tomb full of gold, but the body had completely vanished. When they finally breached the chamber, it was completely untouched. A magnificent sword, intricate gold armor, a spectacular royal helmet, a treasure trove sealed for 1,300 years. It was the single richest tomb ever discovered in England, the resting place of a lost Anglo-Saxon king. But as the archaeologists carefully brushed away the final layer of soil, they were faced with a horrifying, impossible mystery. The tomb was empty. There was no skeleton, not even a tooth. How does a king's body completely vanish from a sealed tomb? To solve that mystery, we have to go back to the one man who believed this place was special, and the experts who told him he was a fool. This story begins not with a king, but with a wealthy landowner in 1939 England named Edith Pretty. Her estate had 18 strange ancient mounds, and she had a hunch they were important. But when she consulted the professional archaeologists at the National Museums, they dismissed her. They believed the mounds were worthless, already looted by grave robbers centuries ago. So Edith did something radical. She ignored the experts. Instead, she hired a local man named Basil Brown. Basil was not a member of the academic elite. He had no formal university degree. The professionals at the British Museum looked down on him as a mere amateur, an untrained digger. But Basil Brown had something they didn't: decades of hands-on experience and a deep, intuitive connection to the land. The experts said he was wasting his time. He was about to prove them all catastrophically wrong. This is the kind of story that changes everything. If you love uncovering hidden mysteries, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss our upcoming stories. In the summer of 1939, with the storm clouds of war gathering over Europe, Basil Brown began to excavate the largest mound known as Mound 1. He knew the acidic soil of the area would have dissolved most organic material. He wasn't looking for bones, he was looking for clues. And then he found the first one, a single piece of metal, an iron rivet. A few feet away, he found another, and then another and another, all in a strange, repeating, and deliberate pattern. The professional archaeologists had told him the mound was just an empty pile of dirt, but the pattern of the rivets was telling him a different story. He cleared away more soil, following the ghostly line. The line curved, forming the unmistakable outline of the hull of a boat. But it wasn't a small boat. The pattern continued, stretching on and on. Basil Brown realized he was looking at the ghostly imprint of a massive 90-foot-long ocean-going ship. The wood had rotted away centuries ago, but the iron rivets that held it together remained, suspended in the soil like a skeleton. He wasn't just digging up a mound. He had discovered a full-blown Anglo-Saxon ship burial, a royal tomb buried in the middle of a hill, on a scale never seen before in England. The discovery was monumental, and he hadn't even reached the treasure yet. The news of the ghost ship sent shockwaves through the British archaeological community, and the same professional archaeologists from Cambridge who had previously dismissed the project now descended on the site. In a move that remains controversial to this day, the self-taught, working-class Basil Brown was pushed aside. The amateur had done the impossible. Now the professionals were taking over to excavate the central burial chamber. As they painstakingly removed the sand, inch by inch, they realized Basil's intuition was correct again. The grave robbers had missed it. The treasure chamber was untouched. What they unearthed was staggering. A magnificent sword, its hilt decorated with intricate gold, a massive ornate shield, a spectacular heavy gold belt buckle, a collection of gold coins from across the world, and most iconic of all, hundreds of rusted fragments that, after decades of work, would be reconstructed into one of the most famous artifacts in history, the Sutton Hoo helmet. This treasure shattered the history books. Historians had condescendingly called this the Dark Ages, a primitive and brutal time of illiterate warlords. This treasure proved they were wrong. The craftsmanship and international origin of the artifacts proved that this was a wealthy, powerful, and sophisticated kingdom with connections to the entire world. The Sutton Hoo treasure was a burst of brilliant golden light that illuminated the so-called Dark Ages. But it left one profound, lingering mystery, the one we started with. They found the king's sword, his helmet, his shield, and his gold. But who was buried here, and where was his body? This is where the mystery deepens. The acidic soil of Sutton Hoo had not just dissolved the wood of the ship over 1,300 years, it had dissolved everything. Any trace of a human body, the skeleton, the skin, the clothes, was completely erased from existence. The body hadn't vanished because of grave robbers. It had been dissolved by chemistry. The king was there. All that remained was a final, ghostly chemical trace in the soil. Historians are now almost certain this was the tomb of King Radwald of East Anglia, a powerful ruler who died around 624 AD. As the team completed their excavation in 1939, the world plunged into darkness. World War II had begun. Edith Pretty, the woman whose curiosity started it all, made a decision of incredible generosity. The entire priceless treasure was hers, but she knew it belonged to the nation. She donated the entire collection to the British people. In a race against time, the treasure was packed up and hidden for safety, spending the entire war in a disused underground subway tunnel in London. It is a story of a treasure that waited a millennium to tell its story, a lost king who vanished, leaving only his golden shadow behind, and a brilliant, self-taught archaeologist dismissed by experts as an amateur who ended up rewriting history.